This production is the history of the Hebrew Family of Guyana, Part 2. The information that will be shared with you at this time will begin with an introduction, which will be a brief history of the Hebrew Family of Guyana community here in Guyana, and how we constructed our Hebrew Cultural Center, and also display our farm in Rockstone, Anarica, and what we've attempted to do there. In addition, we will be covering our meeting and my personal contact and even relationship developed with Abba Ben Ammi, who passed away last year. And as a community, he visited Rockstone here in Guyana and a number of other venues where he spoke to our community and the Israelites who came here in 2007 from around the world, as well as addressing many of our people here in Guyana. I will also be speaking about the importance of the joining of the two sticks spoken about in the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, beginning, I believe, at the 15th verse. And it tells about the time when Yah would bring the house of Judah, the house of Joseph, with his companions, meaning the other tribes of Israel, and join us back together following our dispersion in the captivity via the Atlantic slave trade. So this event of myself and Abba Ben Ammi joining our sticks, part of this concept was also inclusive of the late Sar Shimon and also our brother Prince Daniel, who also has made transition over the last year or so. Finally, I hope to cover how via the Kingdom of Yah and the graciousness and kindness of Abba Ben Ammi allowed our community to develop here in Guyana via the visit of two sisters from Dimona, Israel, Varada and Deborah, who provided skills and shared skills with our community, males and females, in sewing and in, again, vegan cuisine. This part 2, history of the Hebrew Family of Guyana, must be told because we left the United States of America in 1977. Strangely enough, 10 years earlier, in 1967, Abba Ben Ammi led 400 Israelites into Liberia and then later into Dimona, Israel. In 1977, I was given the charge by Cohen Levi to lead our community, approximately 100 people, here to Guyana, South America. And over the course of the years, when Hashaba Yisrael originally organized our exodus from America, we came to Guyana and were known as the Hashaba Yisrael community. The name Hebrew Family of Guyana grew out of a concept of going from what was congregationalism to nationalism in our thinking and in our concept. And the idea of the Hebrew Family of Guyana was the design of one of our late elders, Elder Naomi. And she felt that in Guyana it was difficult for our people and many of the other people to say the words Hashaba Yisrael and to grasp the name in a way that it would stick with the public here. Based on her advice, and I thought it was sound knowing the situation in the country of Guyana, we decided to register our community as the Hebrew Family of Guyana, meaning the Hebrew Israelites of Guyana. In a national concept, which I teach this day and at this very time, is that just like the Chinese people, wherever they go and they leave China, whether it's in San Francisco, New York City, or elsewhere in the world, they always set up a community and they call themselves Chinatown. And therefore, we have to know as a people that when we get international respect as a nation and a people, it will be in how we define ourselves. Because when we define ourselves as less than being a people, we are also recognized as not being a people. So the concept of saying that we're the Hebrew Israelites of Guyana, we're hoping that the day will come when all the other Israelites in Barbados will, as they are doing, saying we're the Hebrew Israelites of Barbados. We're the Hebrew Israelites that reside in Trinidad or Tobago. We're the Hebrew Israelites that reside in North Carolina, New York City, Philadelphia, the land of Israel, Ghana, South Africa. It doesn't matter. Everyone will know that we are connected as a people by saying we're the Hebrew Israelites residing in the lands of our captivity. So that's a concept that has, again, a historical beginning here in Guyana. And I've been saying this to Israelites, and I think most of us do realize that in all practicality, we are Israelites that are residing in different parts of the world via our experience of slavery. Our community, Hashaba Yisrael, as in our first part one of this history of the Hebrew family of Guyana, starts with Cohen Mekiel Ben Israel. Cohen Mekiel was my mentor. He's the person who trained me in the priesthood of the Hebrew teachings and culture. Many of the members of Hashaba Yisrael contributed to my development as an Israelite in understanding our culture and our way of life. And today, I'm extending those teachings here in Guyana. We now have communities in Barbados and Trinidad that also follow the same teaching order that was given to me by Cohen Mekiel. A Siddur, or an order of service that is determined and designed to set up a people that will have a culture that is representative of their own spirit, their own thinking, their own mindset. In forming our own Siddur, we moved away from the Jewish religion and began to have an African representation of the Bible. That's what Hashaba Yisrael brought to the table, along with some of the other communities like Ben Azakim in New York, and I'm sure in Chicago, the communities there also, the community that Abba Ben Ammi came out of also were a cultural group. And so our community in Guyana brought culture of wearing and representing ourselves as African Hebrew Israelites here. We were taught in the United States the Hebrew language. We began to have Hebrew classes here, history classes here, and of course, keeping all of the holy days and all of the major day, the Shabbat day, every Shabbat day, every Sabbath, we observe the Sabbath. We are, in a nutshell, commandment keepers. We are keepers of the Torah. And so we have been bringing this information here now in this country for 40 years. Approximately in 1992, I made contact with a brother named Shalumiel. And Shalumiel was sent to New York City by Abba Ben Ammi from the land of Israel. And his purpose was to form a new relationship with the Israelites in New York City. And I can only tell you that I was identified as a person to contact, to help, to try to join and bring Israelites together with the kingdom in New York City. Myself and Shalumiel worked together for a number of years, and we did break ground in forming a better relationship between the KOY that was for over 25 years located in Dimona, Israel. Abba Ben Ammi, he was stationed there and virtually did very little traveling. And the late Ambassador Nasi Asiel was the first person that visited us here in Guyana on behalf of Abba Ben Ammi. And so the relationship became stronger and stronger. I believe somewhere in 1994 or so, Abba Ben Ammi made a visit to my home in New York City and in Queens. He came with about 7 brothers, and he and I had the first face-to-face conversation. And in that conversation, he was very impressed over the fact that I had left the United States of America and had gone to Guyana. It was a reflection of his own and the Kingdom of Yah's community's experience. And so we had common ground to talk on things that were, again, outside of the lands of our captivity and what our communities experienced in leaving America and establishing ourselves in the land of Israel and here in Guyana, South America. Cohen Levi chose to go to Guyana because he felt that it was not yet time to go into the land of Israel. He felt that we needed to have a place of peace in order to develop ourselves and be in a country where we would be in charge. In his view at that time, we're talking about in the 1960s. I met Cohen in 1969. I've been a priest ever since 1969, where he told me that the Creator, the God of heaven and earth, told him to make me a Cohen, a priest. At the time, I had no knowledge of what a Cohen was, nor did I even want to be a priest because it was a frightening job in my mind to stand before our people, speak to them, and try to get them to change their ways. Nonetheless, when he told me that the Creator had told him to approach me and make me a priest, I could not turn the Creator down. Had he not said that it was the Most High, I probably would have declined the position. Nonetheless, over the years, I think in traveling to Israelite communities in Chicago, the early 70s and 80s, I traveled there, I would say, and began to meet brothers and sisters in Chicago, the various communities, Rabbi Nolan. I began to meet, again, brothers from the Kingdom and all the other communities in Chicago. Later, I traveled to Philadelphia and met the community of Beit Kepsiba with Saw Levi now, and we began to go to places in what was known at the Sacred Laws conferences, and I met other Israelites from Cincinnati and was a guest speaker, the late Moreh Elisha, the brothers down in Atlanta. Over the years, I became well known among the Israelite community via visiting there, worshiping with them, fellowshipping with various communities. And over 10 or 20 years, I became well known, I would say, as a respected speaker and one who was dedicated to the restoration of our nation. As a result, the relationship with the kingdom was natural for me. I heard my teacher and all Israelites say that Israelites had to be joined together. This was our purpose. Some of the people who even spoke in one breath for unity, but in the next breath and in their practices displayed disunity. It still is, I know, the desire of every Israelite, to see our people loving one another and coming together as the Most High commanded us to do in the covenant of the Torah. As a Levite, the word lao means to join. It's the hooks that were actually on the first temple that Moses built in the wilderness, where the curtains were joined together by what is known as a lao. That word lao represents lewi, and it means to join. And so my purpose on this planet, I know it today, is to join the nation of Israel together with every effort and every attempt and in every manner that I can do so. To promote love for each other, promote wanting for ourselves wanting the same for our brothers and sisters. Happiness, independence, prosperity. These are the things that the Torah speak about. Helping our brother when they're in need and our sister. Being families that are committed to each other, to our children, and to the formation of our communities, because families make up a nation. Families make up a community. And you only get into this earth through a family. You can't come in through a religion. You learn religion after you're born in a family. And so all of this Hebrew Family of Guyana is again the concept of being families, families coming back together of Israel. And then one day, as our mandate in the Hebrew Family of Guyana is to serve humanity. That was our mandate from Yah when he said he made us a light unto the nations. That we are to display in our own communities love and brotherhood and sisterhood and familyhood and obedience to the laws that the Creator has given us. And this will influence and have an impact on all the countries around the world. Because through it, he has said that we would be blessed and that we would be prosperous and that we would be given signs of blessings that will cause the nations to look and ask, why have we been blessed in such a manner? Not having miscarriages, having strong families, no longer having drugs as part of our culture, a part of what is connected with us, prostitution, and all the other things that are, again, ill-favored when one thinks of a family and of a nation. The Kingdom of Yah, the KOY, and Abba Ben Ammi, with Cohen Levi, are the two people that have had the greatest impact on my life personally. Cohen Levi taught me Torah, the history of our way of life. And when I met Abba Ben Ammi, another concept developed.